almost hear the conversation. She's from Long Island, never been out west to Colorado, and you're like, "Hey, I want to move to Boulder," and she's like, "Huh? Yeah, whatever." I mean,
Yeah,
Boulder,
exactly.
Boulder from New York City is it's almost two different planets, quite
Yeah.
frankly. I mean,
But when you look at it on a broader view, major airport an hour away, that
Yep.
flies pretty much everywhere, educated population, a very entrepreneurial population,
very, very.
and a very, good area to raise children for schools and everything else. And
Yep.
when I
Totally.
ended up moving out there, my son was 3 and my daughter was 3 and my son was 5. So it was a big transition to move there, and we can get.
So you finally talked her into moving. Now, did you say, "Hey, let's move out there. I want to do something different," or did you had decided we're going to open our own business? Let's do it there. Which one came first, the move or the business, or it happened together?
It happened pretty much together. I basically said, I want to move to Boulder and I'll start a business there.
I see.
And the transition really was dictated by 9/11.
Yeah.
To digress a little bit, my wife was in the tower in 93 when they bombed it. She was working for Cantor. I was in Midtown working for the NAB. And then there was, we lived in Manhattan. We had a nanny. It was my wife's first day back from maternity was 9/11. So she then worked in the 20s or 30s. I was in Midtown and 9/11 happened. And obviously in finance, in doing what I was doing, I lost a lot of friends that day. And I decided right there, I wanted to talk to her, and the horrors of that day made the transition happen way quicker. So 9/11 happens. I kind of organize everything, just move out to Boulder, a couple of years later.
So let me ask you this. Did you say, "Hey, I'm quitting my job. We got enough money we got enough money in savings to do this move. I'm going to go try." That takes some guts to do that. What that conversation sound like with your wife? You're like, "Listen, I know I'm making like $500,000 a year or whatever you were pulling down at the time.
Right.
I'm making a shit ton of money, and we're just going to quit all this and move to Boulder, and maybe it'll work."
Yeah. I would tell you, as people fretted, I quit my job, bought a house, and started, had a mortgage and started a business. I don't think it's the smartest thing to do ever. I was extremely, I think, confident that whatever it took, if it was me digging ditches, I would figure out a way.
Okay. All right.
And no matter what it was, I was very driven to make it work. And that may not be, as easy, or, I wanted to be creative, which is my number one thing. I wanted to be creative, and I wanted to have customer interaction.
Did your wife quit her job too?
Well, she quit earlier because then she was raising the kids. So after she was on maternity, she worked a little bit but after 9/11, she basically quit. So she was raising, the very 2 infants, basically.
You said earlier you were a professional gambler. I mean, you just pushed your chips all in the middle of the table right there. No income, moved to Boulder, 2 young kids, bought a house, started a business. Okay. Yeah. That takes balls, my friend.
Yeah. My whole life was risk assessment, right? Making gambles, and you better be able to gamble on yourself. But I don't want to make it seem easy. It was terrifying in many ways. I just didn't try to think about it that way. I just try to focus on the positive.